There we go. Okay, I'm excited that we have our guest tonight. Charlotte, I'm going to let her introduce herself because she can just tell you a little bit about herself and her plexus journey, and then she's going to share with you some great stuff. So welcome, everybody, this Sunday night. I'm glad to see all your beautiful faces. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi, Charlotte. Thank you for coming on tonight, girl.
Well, you're welcome. I'm really honored to be here. And wow, what a great looking team. You ladies are awesome. And maybe some guys in there, I don't know. But, and your leaders are awesome. You are very blessed to have the leaders that you have. We've talked a few times, Jennifer and Kim and I, at different events. And I've just been so impressed with their sweet spirit. And I know that this is a drama-free team and that you all appreciate their leadership. So as she said, I'm Charlotte Siems and I'm a Saphire ambassador. My husband and I have 12 children and they are ages 10 to 33 now. And our oldest daughter is a gold ambassador. And then actually several sons and in-laws are also ambassadors, but most of them just for the products. My husband is an emerald ambassador and he actually left today to go to Phoenix for jewel training, which I'm really thrilled that he's getting to go and he's really excited about that. And so Plexus has been a game changer for our family. I actually joined just to get the good price on the products. My sponsor is Brenda Martin, who is a diamond ambassador, and she has 11 children. And so she was a stranger and I just saw her posts on Facebook. And so this should encourage you because I didn't know who she was. I just liked how she posted it on Facebook. And so I ordered from her. And then after about 3 weeks, I joined as an ambassador just to get the good price. And I kept telling Brenda, I am not going to sell this stuff. I do not want to sell anything. I had just gotten out of a network marketing company about 2 months before, and I had sworn never again because I'm not a salesman. I did not want to sell stuff. So, and I didn't for about the first 6 weeks or so. I just took my products. But I love the products. I just had a feeling they were good for me. And I wonder if I can tell my non-compliant testimony. Do you guys post these publicly? Are they public?
No. No, go for it, Charlotte.
Okay, yay. Okay. Let me tell you the juicy details. I actually, with Plexus, let me just tell you the short version. I am no longer taking 2 kinds of thyroid prescriptions. I was on both Synthroid and Armor. Before Plexus, I had 8 months of abnormal postmenopausal bleeding. We're talking the period from hell. I mean, I was every single day for 8 months. And so I had surgery scheduled. They did biopsies, they did tests, couldn't figure out why I was bleeding. And so I already had surgery scheduled. Well, meanwhile, I find Plexus, and by my second bag of Slim, the bleeding stopped and it never returned. And my doctor explained to me that the endocrine system, the hormones and thyroid and all of that is so tied together that when you fix one of them, then it affects the other one. And so she released me from surgery. I was also on another prescription that helped with hormone imbalance. I was taking bioidentical hormones for menopause, but then it messed my hormones up. And so then I had a really high testosterone level. Turns out that high blood sugar lowers testosterone in men and raises it in women. And so I had this really high testosterone level. And if I didn't take this other prescription, then my face would break out and I would grow a mustache like within days. And I'd been on that prescription for about 2 years and I had tried several times to wean myself off of it. And every time within a few days, I would have those symptoms. So I felt trapped into taking this chemical prescription. And so I would much rather take natural plant extracts the rest of my life. And so, and of course, not, the energy, the blood sugar, all those things. I could go on and on. There's other things that Plexus did for me and also for my husband. So once I decided to start sharing Plexus, my sponsor was coming from Wisconsin to Oklahoma to do some events for other people. So she said, well, while I'm there, I could do a launch for you. And I thought, oh, brother, I should do something with this business because I felt so bad that she was coming all that way. So I made my first Facebook post. And then I just started telling people and it exploded. And so I had a business, whether I wanted one or not. And then it ended up being the best business ever. So, and I've done some other online businesses. I had done some other network marketing companies, and nothing compares to Plexus. Nothing. It's just been an amazing business. I just want to tell people, do this. I mean, I have the experience. I've done other companies. There is nothing like Plexus. You will succeed and make more money in Plexus than you could doing anything else. And you get to do it while you're helping people. This candles and makeup are nice, but this stuff changes people's lives. And so we get paid well to change people's lives. So it's amazing. So that is my Plexus story. And like I said, the income, everything, my husband, I didn't add my husband under me until I was almost senior gold. And I don't regret waiting that long. And then it just turned out, it just happened that the people that we put under him ended up being people who really ran with the business more. And so that's why he's Emerald. I mean, it's an awesome thing. So anyway, but he actually does help with the business. He actually, the last person who joined my team was actually recruited by him. And so someone he sees all the time. So, he really does do it. But anyway, did you ladies have questions for me, or did you just want me to ramble on? Or
Does anybody have questions for her right now before she goes on? And you guys can unmute yourselves too. Nobody yet? Okay.
I have a question.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. So here's kind of where I am. I feel like I'm at a point now where I'm noticing that if I don't talk to people, then somebody else is going to. I've always heard that. If you don't talk to people about Plexus, somebody else will. And it has happened to me now. I'm not even kidding, about 3 times in the last week or two where, and these are people on my chicken list, I mean, it's just, I know I need to, I know I should. I don't know the best approach. And so that's kind of where this is my next move. And I mean, I've kind of committed myself, okay, I'm ready. Like every single Facebook friend, I'm not going to prejudge. I'm just going to go outright and talk to everybody. What do I need to do? And so I guess some tips on that would be fantastic if that is something, that you did, or anybody, honestly. Like, what do you do? Like, I know sending a message on Facebook or a text or things like that, I'm doing that, or I want to do that, but just what is the best approach?
Well, I think it's really good to keep it short if you're going to do a Facebook message, and make it all about them. That's the thing to remember. It's not about you. It's not about me, but to make it about them. And in that way, you can send a short message and end with a question. Always end with a question. Don't end with, if you want some more information, let me know, because that's really easy for them to never answer you. But if you say, do you have any health issues? That you're dealing with, what's going on with your health, how are you feeling, things like that. People love to talk about their health. And so they're a lot more likely to get back to you. And if it's in person, okay, tonight I had some local team members come over and we watched a training together. And the training was basically what we say in Plexus, and that's to ask a lot of questions. And of course, we need to develop rapport with them. We need to talk about the products. But this is the interesting thing in this training. She said that we should spend 80% of the time asking questions and listening. And then 5% of the time talking about our story, 5% of the time talking about the products and the business, that kind of thing. So that kind of gives you a clue of where you need to go with that, because you're trying to figure out if this is a good fit for them. And if it's not, they're going to walk away from it feeling like you cared, because you asked questions and you listened to them.
Right.
And then you can hold it lightly. You're not desperately trying to get in their face with Plexus and all this stuff. And so you don't have to feel bad either if they say no, because you didn't go spam them or something.
Right. Okay.
I think one of the biggest mistakes I see is when people are messaging people on Facebook, they do this huge long thing about the company history and when it started and the ingredients and the products, that kind of thing. That's not why people buy Plexus. They buy on emotion and whether they think it'll work for them. And so before you message people, pray and ask God to, let you come from a place of serving and helping, because that will come across in what you say. The biggest thing is just to do it. you know, because you already saw other people talk to your chicken list people. And, you know, sometimes someone who said no a long time ago, if you circle back around, it just meant not yet. So I would say don't be afraid to get back in touch with people. And I think, you know, if you just come from a place of make it sound like you, make it casual. If you don't normally use big words, then don't use big words in your Plexus message, you know, and just really try to come from your heart and keep it short and end with a question.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. So, okay. One thing I wanted to talk about tonight was momentum. And you know, we've all maybe come out of some momentum in the last, you know, month and a half when we had this big 15% off. How long did that last? Was it a month? It was a long time.
Yeah.
The 15% off sale. And especially, you know, in the last last week or so, that really was big. And I'm really excited for what's coming with getting the shipping issues fixed. Was anybody else about to cry when they read that email? I mean, and it was, yes, it's wonderful to know that they are really getting a handle on these customer service issues. But what really touched my heart is that how much our executives care about us and that they're going to do something. I think some people told them, hey, this is, you know, we've got to do something. And they went, oh, I mean, you know, we have such great leaders. I'm just so thrilled. And so, but, you know, sometimes after a big push like that, you know, the 15% off is over. And then it's kind of like everyone goes, oh, gosh, phew, that was fun. You know, they got these new people or some new customers and then they take off for a week or something. And so we really, you just don't want to do that. Momentum is a little tougher to get than it is to, and it, you know, you don't want to lose it once you have it. It's kind of like, you know, getting a train going from the station. You know how it's kind of takes a while to get it going. And so once you get that momentum going, you want to keep it. So much of momentum comes back to our own enthusiasm. If we get to where we're communicating with our team or with, you know, prospective people, and we're just kind of, you know, whatever. And we're just kind of, you know, if I was talking to you right now like this and, you know, Plexus is awesome and it's really been helpful to my family. You know, I mean, what does that bring up in you? It's like, okay, whatever, you know, but I'm telling you, this stuff's changed my life, you know, and it really has. And I hope you can hear it in my voice. And so part of it is our own enthusiasm and what that comes across to people. I don't know how it happens. It is a spiritual principle, but what's going on in our own selves comes across to people in our Facebook messages, in our posts to our own team group. That brings me into another part of momentum is if you want momentum, then you get some. If you want your team to have momentum, this is right here where it starts. There's a danger, especially like, let's say you reach gold and a lot of people get stalled after gold because they think, okay, phew, I got to gold now. Come on, guys, give me the diamond, you know, and that there's kind of a tendency, even when you reach your rank, is to kind of rest on your laurels for a while. And really, we've just got to keep going. And I'm not talking about unrealistic, you know, throw your family under the bus while you do Plexus. That's not what I'm talking about. But there does need to be some focus and enthusiasm and consistency. What can happen is, you know, we do a big push and then we take off, and then that taking off a couple of days turns into a couple of weeks, and then it's months, and then things just slow down. What's better is that, you know, as we've just finished this big sale, now really spend some time, you know, building relationships with your new ambassadors and doing some training with them. The training is really important, staying in touch with them. And I'm not talking about bombarding them with a list this long of stuff to do, but you can have, in fact, in our big group, our Diamond Ambassador, Lori Welch, just posted a checklist for new ambassadors that she created, and she sends it to them a little at a time. And then that way, like she'll send them a link to a video. Now watch this and get back to me and have me tell me your why or whatever. Well, if that person never gets back to her, then they didn't throw the ball back, and that kind of helps her understand how to work with them. Maybe they're just want to be a wholesale person. And so, but if you send them a couple of assignments and they get right back, okay, now what? Then you know you might have a runner on your hands. And so it helps to have a system. And your team may have some already. You guys may already be, 100% on this, but I'm always still learning. I wish I could go back and start over again with rewind and do things right. But that just shows how young Plexus is. In some ways, we are just now figuring out what we need to do. And you are in this company at the right time. That is so exciting that you are in the company when it is growing. That's one reason. Did you realize that's one reason why we've had some of the shipping problems and stuff? Yes, it was software, but we are growing so fast right now that's another reason for the shipping delays. And, that's a good problem to have. We're not in a company that's saying, let's see, how can we drum up some business? They are like, we're trying to keep up. They're going to have 24/7 shipping personnel working on shipping in the warehouse 24/7. That's because our products work. And this business is amazing. And so this is all good news. Or you can look at it as, and I had someone tell me this tonight, that they had just kind of quit recruiting because of all the shipping issues and stuff. And I'm like, can't let that stop you. Sure. You know what? The majority of orders are going out. The vast majority of the hundreds of thousands of orders are getting shipped and are getting to people. We just hear about the problems. And so just be aware that, it's a mindset thing if you let things like that stop you. So have enthusiasm, and then make sure that you are where you need to be with your own mindset, because that's going to be duplicated in your team. I heard a business trainer say, work on yourself more than anything else in your business, and you will be unusually successful. And I would say that's probably the number one thing I work on in my business, is realizing when my fear stops me, and reading and talking with a coach or something, different, talking with my upline. That's the amazing thing about this system, is you have free business coaching available to you with your upline. And so trying to get past my fears and the things that are holding me back. And it's making me a better person. It's making me a better wife and mother and pastor's wife and everything because of Plexus. It's making me work on my stuff to succeed in the business. And so that's personal growth with a paycheck. And that's the truth. So I would say those are a couple of tips really for building momentum, is your own enthusiasm, your own daily activity, and your own mindset and personal development. So.
Love it. I love it, Charlotte. Thank you so much. Great stuff. Kim, is there anything you want to add or ask Charlotte or say?
I loved it. I love momentum and how it's got to start with us leaders.
Yeah.
And we've got to encourage it, and we have to be motivating, and we have to have our own momentum in our own activity as a role model. I love that. Absolutely. Charlotte, can you give us an example? I was going back to your outreach message. Can you give us an example of one? What a great short outreach message looks like?
Oh, if it's like, let's say it's somebody from high school that we're friends on Facebook, but we don't talk and stuff. And, I just kind of see what's going on with her life. And I might say, Kyra, I've been watching your pictures and you have the cutest grandbaby. I hope you guys are all doing great. And say, have you seen my Plexus post? Have you been curious at all? And then say, maybe, do you have some health issues you're dealing with? And that's it. Not go on and on and on. And I'm making it about her. So
love it.
I mean, the situation, it depends on the situation. You might have somebody that is a closer friend that you could maybe explain a little more to her of why you think she'd be awesome as the business, or say, I know that, Jack is still struggling with his thyroid, or, whatever. And just thought this might be an option for you guys, or, that kind of thing. So you're making it about them. It is. And so, what's not going to work is, I started Plexus and I love it and it's great business, and I'm off of these medicines, and me, it's been a great bit, because all that makes someone think is like, well, good for you. I mean, they're not thinking, I want to join you. They're just thinking, well, I'm glad for you, but they're, you just see what I'm saying? So we're not, you got to come from a place of making it about them. So.
Yeah. That's awesome. And I like how you say end with a question. So they have to get back to you. You know?
And they know, and of course, some are still not going to answer you, but you're probably going to get a better percentage, especially if you don't say, if you need more information, let me know, because that's kind of a chicken thing to say, you know? And so
I also like how you said they can hear it in your voice. I don't think anything is better than a personal message. You know, I think so many times we hide behind our phone or we hide behind our computers, and nothing's better than that personal voice message, because they can hear that excitement. They can hear your passion in your voice. So
yes,
that's powerful.
Use that messenger app and, you know, leave voice messages. That's what she's saying, because I can hear that emotion. And the same thing, even with your team, you know, I forget to use it, but I know that I've had some of them tell me, you know, I loved hearing your voice. I mean, they'll save the message because it meant so much to them.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Charlotte, can you kind of describe how this business has changed your world or blessed you? What has meant the most?
For my family, the financial aspect of it, because I now make more in a month than my husband made annually, because he's a pastor of a small church and we have had 12 children. Wow. I never worked outside the home. This is our 29th year of homeschooling. And so, you know, I couldn't even tell you how we made it. I couldn't tell you. God provided. He always has. We've always had food and clothes. I mean, don't feel sorry for us. I mean, we were cheerfully, you know, have lived, you know. And so, but just the stress of the finances has been with me for years and years and years. And so it has been so much fun to have enough money to do things like, and, you know, we're not buying jewels and furs. You know, we've got 2 boys in college, and we're going to go take a trip to see my daughter in Oregon in May, all 6 of us. That if I only have 4 children left at home, and my son's having a baby, and we bought them a chair for their nursery. I mean, just so much fun to have money to do that kind of thing without the stress. And so that has been a lot of my why is financial freedom for our family. And my dream is to buy a house for our family, because we live in church-owned parsonages, have for years and years. And so Plexus is making that dream come true. I've started saving money for a house. And so I would say for me, and if you knew us and knew our family, I mean, so someone who doesn't know us might think, oh, they're about the money, but all the people that know us know it's not, you know, but I will say the financial freedom has been the hugest change for my family.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. Awesome.
Does anybody else have any questions for her? I want to see. We have a chat here. Let me see what that says. It says here, so with all the things that you had going on, how did you manage to stay on top of things?
Well, first of all, I am not one of those super organized. I'm organized, but I'm not a detail person as much as some people are. And so I do have, I mean, I am and I'm not. I guess I am not a real scheduled person. Let me put it that way. As a mother of a large family and years and years and years of babies and toddlers and 2-year-olds and, you know, all that goes with that, there were so many interruptions that I've learned to work this business and everything else I've done in life in the nooks and crannies of life. And so I have more freedom to spend more time on the business now, maybe in the afternoons or something, than I did when my kids were younger. But I still kind of do it all day, every day. Because I'm focused, and this is very important to me, and I'm very consistent. So I work my business every day, but I have business hours from 8:30 to 4. That is not me. Yeah. And so, but I also will say I do not sleep with my phone next to the bed. I charge it in another room because I don't want to wake up first thing in the morning and start, having other people's issues take my emotional energy. And so I do put limits on it for that. When I'm homeschooling my kids, I don't have my phone next to me where I'm, picking up texts while they're listening to them read or whatever, And so I do have boundaries that way. But, some of the busiest people are the ones who have succeeded in Plexus the most because they know how to get things done, and you stay focused and you stay consistent. Mm-hmm. For every person on this call who has an extenuating circumstance why they could say they don't have time or couldn't do it, I will show you a jewel or somebody who is doing it with worse circumstances. And so that's a mindset thing. When we want to say, well, I can't do it because of this, and it's really, if you really want it, then you find a way to do it, and you figure out a way to do it in the nooks and crannies of life. So,
Love that. Yeah.
I don't want to sound mean, but it's like, hey, been there, done that,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Agree, 100%. Very good. Well, it's been 30 minutes, so I like to keep everybody on for 30 minutes. Is there any more questions before we let Charlotte go, you guys? Nobody? Okay. Charlotte, I'm so thankful for you, and thank you so much for coming on tonight. I really do appreciate it. You're a blessing, honey.
You're welcome. Thanks, and I'll see you all in Vegas.
Yes, can't wait to see you, darling. Thank you so much.
Okay.
You
Good
guys
night.
have a blessing night. Thank you, guys.